The Fable series has always been a big deal in gaming, full of charm, humor, and some pretty groundbreaking ideas. Now it's making a comeback under Playground Games, and Microsoft clearly sees it as a key part of their gaming future. With years of development, a strong team, and some ambitious plans, they're betting big on Fable reclaiming its spot as a top RPG.
It's been 84 years.
Microsoft has been playing the long game with Fable. Development kicked off in 2018, 2 years after the original studio shut down. When the game was officially revealed at the Xbox Games Showcase in 2020, it was described as a new beginning, which, given how long it's been, is definitely true. By March 2023, reports confirmed that Fable had finally entered full production. And to make things even more interesting, Eidos Montreal, the team behind Deus Ex and Guardians of the Galaxy, jumped in to help. And if there's one thing Eidos excels at, it's creating nuanced characters and stories with a touch of dark humor. That's a pretty solid sign that Microsoft is making sure this game delivers. Here's where things get interesting. Even though Fable doesn't have a release date yet, there's already speculation about DLC. IMDb listings for 2 voice actors, Wyatt Oleff and Ari Cohen, show them credited for DLC 1. To be fair, this could also be a mistake on IMDb's part no one caught just yet. But if true, this suggests Microsoft is planning post-launch content before the game is even out. Usually DLC development happens much later in the cycle. But I mean, the fact that they've already cast actors for DLC 1 suggests they have a pretty clear vision for at least the first expansion. It's pure speculation, of course. Now, working on DLC alongside the main game isn't unheard of, but it does show confidence. Either Microsoft believes Fable will be a hit, or they're going all in regardless.
These people actually believe that we know what we're doing.
But on the flip side, and this is something gamers always worry about, it could mean content being cut from the main game to be sold later as DLC. And that always leaves a sour taste, like, hey, we took this chunk of the game you paid for and we're going to make you pay again for it. But to be fair, we're speculating here. It could also be something completely harmless, like a small side story or cosmetic items. We'll have to wait and see. Microsoft has confirmed a 2025 release window, but they haven't locked down a date yet. And that might not be a coincidence. Maybe they're trying to avoid a clash with the other big hitters of 2025. This ambiguity might reflect careful consideration of market dynamics, particularly the looming release of Grand Theft Auto 6, arguably the most anticipated game of the decade. Looking at it from this angle, it only makes sense that Microsoft would want to time Fable's launch carefully.
You mean we gotta be careful not to generate too much heat?
Okay, so the question is, when are they gonna make their move? I mean, no company will ever admit they're adjusting their release plans around another game, but let's be real, it happens. The safest bet? Expect a release date reveal at the Xbox Summer Showcase, with the game likely dropping in late 2025. Q3 in particular seems like a good guess based on the new information gathered from Microsoft's latest earnings call. Or maybe I'm reading too much into the whole GTA 6 thing. What do you think? Will Microsoft try to avoid a historical GTA 6 launch or just go head-to-head? Let me know in the comments below. One thing's for sure, Microsoft is putting Fable front and center in its Game Pass strategy. Since it's a first-party title, it'll be available on Game Pass from day one, meaning millions of players can jump in without paying extra.
Play it day one with Game Pass.
That's a huge deal for exposure, and could make Fable one of the biggest RPG launches in recent years. Looking at Microsoft's latest earnings report, PC Game Pass subscribers jumped by 30%, and they expect content and services revenue to keep climbing. So yeah, tying Fable to Game Pass is a no-brainer. It's a way to both boost the game and make Game Pass itself more essential. Besides Game Pass, Fable will also launch on PC and Xbox consoles, as expected.
But what I'm about to tell you is gonna sound like the craziest thing in the world because it is.
But there's an interesting rumor floating around. It might come to PlayStation 5. This started with a report from the Spanish site Vandal and was briefly hinted at by Jez Corden last December. Now, that said, it's just a rumor for now. It could simply be speculation based on Phil Spencer's recent comments about bringing more Xbox games to multiple platforms. Until we get solid confirmation, don't hold your breath. But hey, stranger things have happened.
Can anybody tell me another way to make friends?
Sir! Sir!
Yes?
Tell them you'll smash their teeth in if they won't be friends with you.
No, Billy. Threatening people is not really a good way to make friends with them.
The original Fable games won people over with their humor, storytelling, and player-driven choices. Reviving a series like this isn't easy, but Playground Games seems to understand the weight of the task.
So to bring it back to life, you have to infuse it.
Balancing nostalgia with fresh ideas is key. You don't want to alienate the old fans, but you also want to bring in new players. And if they pull it off, Fable could be a major win, not just for Xbox, but for RPG fans in general. Microsoft clearly sees it as a showcase title for their platform, and with everything they're putting into it, expectations are high. But let's be honest, we've seen big companies fumble beloved franchises before, ignoring fan expectations, making weird creative choices, or just plain rushing things out the door. It happens way too often. The big question on everyone's mind is, can Playground Games capture that Fable magic? To wrap things up, I think it's safe to say that Microsoft is placing a huge bet on Fable. They're investing in top-tier talent, they're embracing the power of Game Pass, and they're aiming to deliver an experience that captures the hearts of both old and new fans. And we, for one, are cautiously optimistic. What are your predictions for Fable? Will it be a triumphant return to glory or a disappointing fumble? Will it live up to the hype or crash and burn? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, don't forget to drop a like and share it. And if you want to stay in the loop on Fable and other exciting upcoming games, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.